Good morning. Hope that you are well, that this finds you well. Little devotional thought for you today comes from Psalm 107, verse 14. He brought them out of darkness and the shadow of death and burst their bonds apart. That is a statement of the saving power of God. And it comes in this 107th Psalm, which is a psalm of thanks to God for his redemption, which it begins, "Oh, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good, for his steadfast love endures forever." It is a song of gratitude for God's continual display of mercy and grace and his saving power. And there is a refrain in this psalm. I think it's repeated 4 times. Then they cried to the Lord in their trouble, and he delivered them from their distress. And so that is the basic pattern, reflecting on those who in this situation or this situation called out to God and found his mercy. And in all kinds of situations, we need to call out to the Lord and we'll find his delivering power. And so when it comes to the passage, that verse today, it's in what, at least as the ESV breaks it up, it's kind of the third stanza of the psalm. And it starts out, verse 10, "Some sat in darkness and in the shadow of death, prisoners in affliction and irons, for they had rebelled against the words of God and spurned the counsel of the Most High." So that's a circumstance where the suffering that they're in, captivity and pain and so on, is a result of their own sin and rebellion against God and folly. And the good news reflecting on that is that that does not take away the possibility of God's redemption and his rescue. Just because it was their own fault does not mean they were abandoned. And that is good news for you and me. Even if we are suffering as the consequence of our own sins or folly or rejection of God's wisdom or will, that doesn't mean that God will not hear our prayers when we turn to him. In fact, he accomplishes wonderful deliverance for his people who turn to him. And so, whatever circumstance we're in, whatever we're going through, um, even if we think we deserve it, God is compassionate and gracious. God is able to lift up those who are suffering. And the way of wisdom is to turn to God as soon as possible and find his deliverance, his care, the power of his love. So may you in all things draw near to God and find his wonderful delivering power day by day. The Lord be with you.